Hey, how you doing? Dave Fennoy here. Another Wednesday, another Ask Dave Fennoy Anything. And I have a guest today, I hope. Elley Ray, who is an amazing voiceover actress. Well, she's an actress just in her own right. She's done a lot of TV, a lot of movies, and a lot of voiceover work. And she'd clicked in a little earlier. She was too early, and now she hasn't clicked in, so I'm not sure if she's going to make it here. But in the meantime, feel free to ask me some questions. And while you're doing that and getting ready, hopefully we're going to have a surprise from, or not the surprise of her not showing up, but her showing up now. Want to remind you, this coming weekend, I'll be in Vegas, baby. And what happens in Vegas, actually, I'm going to tell you about right now. I'll be teaching at the Voice Actors Studio, Melissa Moates' place up there. That's just a wonderful place for voice actors in the Las Vegas area. And it's hybrid, so you can take the class and be there in person, or you can take it online. And all you have to do, if you'd like to sign up either as a full participant, which may be sold out now, but you can check, or a fly on the wall who gets to see and hear it all, you can go to voiceactorsstudio.com and sign up there. I'm going to talk a little bit about an experience I had with a student now while I wait for Elley and hope that she's actually going to click in. I've been working with a young lady. Well, I work with a number of people. This particular young lady has a lot of talent. She's pretty good at what she does, but she gets in her own head. Could that be something anybody in this audience does? You get that copy in front of you, and you get so focused on, I want to sound good. I want to make sure that people hear me the way I want them to hear me. I want to make sure they understand that I understand what this copy is saying. People get so caught up in that they forget to just be. You'll find sometimes that you're just being a little too careful, if you know what I mean. So instead of the copy coming out in a very natural way, like I'm talking to you right now, it might be coming out a little bit more like this, so you can make sure that everybody understands exactly what you're saying, which isn't real natural. So I'm going to suggest, especially when you're looking at video game animation copy, but this carries over into commercial and narration as well. Sometimes we have to be a little more clear. If you're doing children's educational stuff, you have to be very clear with that. But more often than not, we're just talking to somebody, and we want them to feel like we're just talking to somebody. And if you are too busy trying to say the words and not reflect what your character is thinking and feeling, and there she is, you're going to have a problem connecting because something about it is just not going to sound right. But now that I have Elley here, I hope that worked for you. Let's give a warm applause for Miss Elley Ray. Woohoo!
Hi, Dave.
You were getting me a little worried there, Elley.
You told me to go away and never tell me to go away because I was too early. Like, I'm never too early. I went away 45 minutes, worked on an audition, and went, oh, sugar, I got to get in there.
So we going to book that thing or not?
Oh, it's booked, man. I'm a Ms. Catterwall. She's a singing teacher, and she's...
Okay. Now, is this something you can talk about? You didn't have to sign an NDA.
Like, I was in there, like, just like winging it. Oh my God.
Oh, there you go. Well, you book plenty, so you get. But let me ask you this: when you do your auditions, do you forget about them afterwards?
Always.
Yeah.
You must. You've got to. These are stories that it'd be like you come to the big, it's like once upon a time, you have this phenomenal experience, you kiss it, you throw it into the wind, and you hope that it lands where the people that need it to be will land, and you never think about it again, or you'll drive yourself nuts, because people in this business, they get caught up in the expectation of where that story's going. I give it with gratitude and grace, and I just go, it's yours to do with as you wish.
And
So
there you go. Well, we want to find out about you. We are both a part of this thing, the Ultimate VO Survivor.
We're survivors, yes.
Which is a contest that we were both judges on last year. And you are one of the principals in that, are you not?
Well, so they tell me. I try to pretend I'm not, because it means I need to be responsible. And you know me. We came up with this idea during COVID, Dave, because people that are creative, when you take away their platforms to sort of give to the world and their audiences, they start to go a little stir crazy. And you know, we're left in the temple by ourselves, which is the voice studio for the most part, if you have the luxury of having a home studio, and we're alone. But it became quite alone because a lot of studios closed down where I am up in Canada, although I do a lot of work down in the United States. But you know, all the theaters closed down, all my television series shut down, and things went kind of crazy. So we thought, let's do something for the folks that can still work during the pandemic and show the world. These are sort of, we're frontline workers, right? Like, we are the storytellers that, if you have the luxury of having a home studio, could reach the masses. And still, even if you're selling Viagra, Boston pizza, diapers, it doesn't matter. You're still talking to people, right? We're still we're still entertaining, and we're giving it. So that's where it was born out of the desire to give back to a genre of storytelling that is rarely recognized. The voice actor, people don't even know what voice actors do for the most part. But we also wanted to help them out, so we amassed a great deal of prizes, like Source Connect and home studios and equipment and demos and website designs for people to say, if you don't have a home studio and you're not quite ready, hey, come on, you could win this, and it'll really help put you on the map and get started in the industry, you know?
And you guys have put together a great list of judges. Proud to say that I'm one of them. You are one of them, but Deb Monroe, who is your partner in this, is a judge.
Yeah.
J. Michael Collins. And good buddy of mine, Cliff Zellman. Good buddy of mine, Tara Strong, who I've done a lot of work with on video games and cartoons. Agent Liz Atherton. Also Agent Eric Shepard. Friend of mine, Ellen Dubbin, and from all the way from over there in English, actually. Sometimes I get my English and my Rachel Naylor from the VoiceOver Network. So a great crew of judges and people who are interested in being a part of that. I believe you can start submitting when? This week?
The portal opened not even 48 hours ago. We've already had 125 submissions for people submitting, and it's less than, we haven't even been 2 days into it. It's a day and a half.
And I'm going to tell you, it does cost money to enter, but it's $5.
And the reason that is our platform costs $1,800. So because the bandwidth required to submit like 2,000 auditions is quite a bit. And you know, that's what it's paying for. And we've got a phenomenal team working for us with creating the website, helping to do all of our trailers and all of our social media and all of our, like it requires a village. I'm not kidding. And we're actually, that's what this is a not-for-profit charity. Any money that is amassed that it could be left over, which it wasn't last year, we put it back into the winners. So we would buy equipment with that. We're thinking this year we're going to be a bit bigger than anticipated. So we're going to put that money back into
things worthwhile have a habit of growing.
Well, it's, it was asked for. We swore we'd never do it again because it's a huge undertaking and a lot of work. But people were like, "Oh, you got to do it again." We were
like, hey, listen, Amanda Brandt just left everybody in the chat the link. This is one of the things I love best about doing this and the voiceover community is the number of people who are willing to help. Thank you, Amanda Brandt, for doing that. And while I have you up there, Amanda also said, "Hi, Elley. Hi, Dave." And Micah B-Side said, "I'm in love. You have stolen his heart."
I love you too.
Selena White. And she also says, hello, Elley Ray. And Michael Sessoms. Woot, woot, Elley Ray.
Oh, so, my God, Dave's in the house. All right.
You got some fans in there.
Get a job, you bums.
and student of mine, Theo Mezzacapo, also saying hello to both of us. Now, let's go back in time just a few years. How did you get started in this wacky entertainment business and VO in particular?
Well, I think it's born into us. Like we erupt as communicators. I think at the baseline of everything. I didn't really start. It's sort of like, I went to theater school and I trained with 1 million people all over the world and did all kinds of stuff like that. But quite frankly, I was entertaining when I was 2. So, I mean, I never shut up. If you look at my report cards, it's like, please stop talking. Please make her stop talking. I mean, I would have been diagnosed with everything from autism to ADHD, ADD. They tried to medicate it out of me. And it was this incredible desire to live in a world beyond our own and bring joy through humor, love, and risk everything to kind of bring it to the table. So I think, people qualified me. They said I would never do voice in theater school because I have everything wrong with my instrument. I have apparently I've got a rotten sound. So I have a deviated septum. I've had 4 rhinoplasties, so I'm quite nasal, and I'm a mouth breather because of it. So I've got a raspy bottom end. I've got a cathedral ceiling to the roof of my mouth. And I've got an overbite, so I'm plosive. I'm wet. I've got a lot of air. If you can hear, I've got that raspy bottom end adds a lot of, So people said, forget it. You'll never do voice. And I went, oh, okay. They also said, you'll never do film and television because you're too tall, you're too angular, you're too masculine, you're too flat-chested, you're too, all the things that I guess you're not supposed to be or you're supposed to be, but in a different world. Needless to say, I graduated from my Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater, and I got a movie, a television series, an animated series, and voiced a toy.
How could they have been so wrong?
Because people want to qualify you based on their institutionalized thinking, and if you're different, or it's not about your voice. Like I try to say this to everyone I meet. It's not about your voice. It's about your desire to give an inspired story to an audience. And that has nothing to do with what you sound like, right?
I agree with that, and I would add to that, it's about your essence.
I think you're right.
It's about that thing that's you, that you bring to the table that's nobody else.
Yeah, I agree. Your authenticity, we're afraid to be who we are because we think they want something, but they don't know what they want. What they want is your intrinsic, innocent, emotionally connected, joyful, playful self. We're intimate. When we're close to people, love, that thing that everybody has such a hard time feeling for each other. Our world needs it. So the storytellers, they actually have to bring that huge ball of intimacy, which is what a hero is. They're loving, faithful, kind, generous. And the storytellers have to be that. And if you can open that up in yourself and say, I'm just going to love you for the way I talk to my dogs when I go, because you're the greatest. When people go, I want to feel that. I want to feel like, I love you. Like I'm hear you. I know you're there, millions of people, when I'm at the microphone. I know you're there, and don't give up. And come on, I'm going to give you, yeah, I know that I'm selling condoms right now, but I'm going to get through that, through the coding. I'm going to say, don't worry about it. You're safe. We're going to
So
have a
you're
good.
selling condoms, and it's love, and it's also safe sex.
It's exactly, the message is good, right? We can all play together and be safe.
Well, let me ask you this. So uh, you're a storyteller selling love, but now you're playing a bad guy in a video game. How is that selling love? Tell me that.
Oh, I'm the best monsters because, well, I'll tell you what. Most actors cannot find the humanity in the villain. The villain doesn't know they're a villain. A villain is a villain because something broke in them. Somebody didn't love them. Someone hurt them. You become a villain. No one starts out as a villain. If you can find the humanity, like the Joker, like the good actors who find that desperate break, the innocence, the brokenness of a character, then that villain, yes, they're bad, yes, they're hateful and monstrous, but they're monstrous for a reason. And if you can show the underbelly of the beast, if you can go deeper than the basic, I'm horrible, I will destroy, you go, oh, please. If you can pepper that with a moment or two of the truth, that's where you go, oh, yeah, I know why you're bad. And there's hope for us because the bad can be changed sometimes.
And sometimes some of our favorite characters are the bad guy. Or a bad guy. But there's a certain charm and humanity that touches us despite the bad. And one of the things I love about so many, especially modern productions of various kinds, is that protagonist that may do some good, may do some bad, but we see the humanity and the struggle of humanity in it.
Dave, nobody wants to play the hero. I've got thousands of students internationally, and they want to play the villain or the sidekick. And I said, okay, look it now. The reason, there's some kind of sucky idea, the hero, they're kind of boring and they're kind of whatever. And I go, don't think that the hero isn't fraught with fear and loathing of self, where their self-worth is in the toilet and they struggle their hour of the dark night. There's so much fodder in those characters as well. You've got to find that, like, every single character has a little bit of villainy and a little bit of sidekick in them and a little bit of the ethereal guardian in them. And, it's just up to the voice actor or the performer to find the dignity of a character that is completely fully rounded. If you can find that, if you can go to the heart, and we talk about this all the time, and I find as performers, if we go to the heart of ourselves, because ultimately we're the heroes. Like, the voice actor is the hero of the entire
genre. Stories.
Of everything, even if we're playing a villain, which we play many, right? Like, I play a lot of, really dangerous dark, because I'm not afraid to, number one, go to the darkness, having experienced a lot of it in my life, but also to find that vulnerable humanity inside the darkness. And then what happens is you actually find the hero in the villain, because you're the storyteller who's really digging really deep and not being afraid of showing some unattractive things. Actors want to be attractive. And it's the best actors are the ones that aren't afraid to be a little bit ugly.
Well, what I find interesting, I think when I'm looking at women actors, female actresses, I often find the most classically beautiful are not the best actors.
No,
that you'll find everybody's got imperfections in their looks and face and body and so forth, but you will find a woman who, if you just saw her walking down the street, you say, oh, she's pretty, she's nice looking, average looking lady. But when she steps into the part of the woman who is the beauty, suddenly she becomes more beautiful. It's an amazing transformation, and I think it has to do with connecting with the mind and the heart of the character you're playing, the worldview, and the physicality. And a lot of times, beauty isn't about, oh, I just showed up and I look like this, but it's how you carry yourself. It's how you think
No,
about
and
yourself.
I mean, what is beautiful? Like, really, if we are a voice actor and somebody else is drawing an image of, it doesn't matter what we look like behind the microphone. And that's what I love about if you recognize the hero in you, and nobody understands the core basic root. And I feel in the 40 years I've been in this industry, I've watched heroes change, and our heroes are attitudinal and nasty now. It's kind of sad to have watched the innocence of heroes really become kind of cool and kind of nasty. There's more sidekicks, and the beauty lies in the innocence of a hero. And if you look at something like, I'm going to go to story for a minute, like Beauty and the Beast, you've got Belle. And Belle is a kind of a classic. I'm going to go female with it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be sexist. I'm just using this because it's the example that came to my head. But she's the heroine of the story, and she says, if you let my father go, you can keep me. And he says, "Wow, okay." And he sends the father away, and she's crying and she's sad, and he makes her go to dinner, and he makes her wear a dress, and she doesn't want to go because she's quite upset. And they convince her to be our guest, we're going to have the thing. And they make her happy. They sing for her and make her happy. She decides to go for dinner. And of course, the Beast has a meltdown and smashes the table and acts like a tardsicle and just gets all crazy and scares the bejesus out of her. And the line is, "Why are you so mean?" Now, I always go to my students and I go, "What, say this for me." I teach at many universities, so I'll have like 30 students in a class, and I'll go 30 people at a time. I'll go, "Why are you so mean? Why are you so mean? Why are you so mean? Why are you so mean?" And I go, "No, you see, the hero goes, why are you so mean?" Because the hero knows that the Beast is not mean, that the Beast has been hurt. Except we will read the line with the intention of, "Screw you, you nasty piece of work, you're an idiot." The hero can never judge. So, if you look at something like Joy from Inside Out, she can't get angry at sadness. The director made a big boo-boo there. I'm sorry, director, if you're listening right now, but I should have directed that, because when Joy goes, "Sadness! We can't lose the memories. We have to go get them." Poor little Sadness has a nervous breakdown. Joy is joy. Joy cannot yell at sadness. She's not anger. She's joy. So she could have done that exact same line. She could have gone, "Oh, Sadness, we can't lose the memories. We've got to go get them." And made it a little game. But no, it was done wrong. And I watched directors and actors play heroes with negative attitude because our world is crappy and the storytellers can't go to crappy attitude place. So don't do that, because that's where the beauty lies. The beauty lies in your innocence, your faithful hope that you never judge anybody. And our world is all about judging everybody else. We as storytellers cannot do that.
Well, you know what? I'm going to throw a little mess in the game here, because in some ways I have to disagree with, we can't do that, because so many of our stories are reflecting our life. On one hand, classically, I truly do agree with you, but in terms of what we see in entertainment in the modern world now is art, which is a reflection of life and what the artist, what the writer sees.
Are you saying there's no innocence or no heroes?
Oh, no. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that we do have heroes, protagonists that are conflicted.
I agree, but that you can be conflicted and not be attitudinal. What I'm saying is we're bringing in the attitude of the modern person who has no heart, whereas that's what actors are doing. That's what I'm witnessing in the people that I teach and I cast and I direct. I go, no, don't do that. Try this. Because in my opinion, we become very angry. very hateful, very judgmental, and it shows in our work.
Quickly.
Yeah, and it shows in our work. So the writers have gone there, but the actors have gone there too because we can't help it, because our world, it's like saying we don't want the announcer, we want real, but all you hear is the announcer. Because our world doesn't know what the non-announcer, what a real communicator sounds like.
Well, you know, once again, I think we're hearing a lot of people whose performances, whose connection with an audience is much more down to earth and real than we used to have the professional announcer. I made a lot of money being this guy. And it's something that I find I had to unlearn, or put it this way, be able to do something else. And I find with a lot of guys, especially who come out of radio, who have wonderful instruments, or they've been told that their instrument is wonderful, and now they're trying to live in that instrument, as opposed to forget about your instrument. It's always going to be wonderful. Just connect here and here. Connect here and here.
Well, when I go, all I hear is people reading. That's announcing. Whether you put a nice musicality on the read, it's still announcing. It's response-driven dialogue. The audience is asking you questions that you can't hear. How much does it cost? Where do I get it? What does it do? How does it work? What is this? What is that? La la la. We will state facts at an audience. We patronize an audience by just going, you know, blah, 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 blah. Even if we do it in a nice tone, we exclude the audience because we've got the script and we know what we're saying, rather than discovering let's talk about success. How do you spell success?
But you got to do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but look at how quick we are. Look at how quick I am. You can discover like this. If I say to you, describe to me what's in your living room, Dave, you'll be able to do it like this.
A lot of African art.
Right? You will describe it from your frame of reference. So you'll think about it. You know what's in your living room, but you're going to decide what you're going to want to tell me first, right?
You know, one of the things I love about talking with other actors and other teachers is when you are saying the same thing, but you're using different words. And I often tell students, listen, I don't want you to just work with me. I want you to work with some other people too. So you hear the same thing I'm saying, but from a different perspective.
Well,
and what you're talking about now in terms of what we do with commercials, and very much the classic read was, state the problem, state the solution, then call to action, without a connection to this person or that person. You're just the beautiful voice saying that thing.
That's it.
And we are fighting like hell nowadays to find a way to connect with people that is more real and honest. And I think a lot of voice actors, I know from time to time, I'm struggling with it. Sometimes it's the writer who has given you a mess to try to make human, because it's not something that we.
Well, they'll go like this. They'll go, we want stand-up comedians, we want beat poets, we want it, because they're trying to put personality into the script, right? And it's like, you know, it's called allow your opinion to come to the surface, which is your sense of play. Are you cheeky? Are you irreverent? Are you naughty? Are you wry? Are you dry? Are you sarcastic? Are you, you know, whatever.
But, you know, as professionals, we kind of do that. But I think sometimes what they'll go for, I've seen, say, like an Ice Cube in movies. Ice Cube plays Ice Cube, plays Ice Cube, plays Ice Cube. And we love him because he knows who he is. He knows what his character is. And he plays that and plays that and plays that. And that's why comedians, rappers, and other people who entertain us with a very particular personality get hired. It's what character actors do. Every character actor always seems to be playing the same part, even if the parts are diametrically opposed, because there's something in their voice, in the rhythm of how they speak, in their look, in their own personal worldview.
Well, and what's so weird for me is I'm a character actor as a person, never mind the characters I play.
Yeah.
So I am unique and different. Use whatever adjective you like. I am authentically myself as me. So people don't know what to do with
Why she
Yes.
got blue hair?
Well, she looks like that in real life, but I'm playing. I'm doing 3 documentaries right now, and I've got a television series, and I play the warden of a prison. Well, I don't look like this as the warden of the prison.
Yeah.
I don't, and like that's where people get confused. They're like, oh, and the same is true of voice. So you can have a signature sound, but that doesn't mean that that's what you do with the instrument for all the characters. And you're always a character. A character is a caring actor. So if you're a shy, retired nurse, that's a character. If you're a neighbor, it's a character. If you're a doctor, lawyer, dentist, fire chief, if you, a cashier, you're a character. You're always a caring actor if you're communicating ideas.
One thing you mentioned there, boy, this is a great conversation. One thing you mentioned there, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, cashier, so forth and so on, often I'll have actors that are trying to play what they think the doctor, the lawyer, that will sound like, and I'm saying, no, you're playing a person. This is their job, but this is who they are. They are a particular personality with a particular voice, particular worldview, particular cadence, who happens to be playing that job. Play the character. Don't play
Exactly.
their
And
career.
I always go, "Where's George?" And this is what I say to my students. I go, "Where's George?" So George was a streetcar driver here. And for years, all the way across town, miles and miles and miles, he would go west and then he would come back east. And George, for no other reason, would tell jokes, sing songs, and talk the entire time to the entire streetcar, and for no other reason but to bring joy to people. Just he was there, he was with people, he would entertain people, he was the most loving, generous, beautiful soul you could ever want to meet. He was now, does every streetcar driver do that? No. But you go, where's George? Can you be a doctor and have a good bedside manner because you're a comedian and you want to be a stand-up? My doctor's a comedian. My doctor's funny. My doctor's funny. And my other doctor is political as hell, like only talks about politics nonstop. It's amazing if we allow ourselves to just have our true personality. If you want to be kind of a little bit, because you might have a little bit of a naughty thing, like whatever. But we won't bring that to the table because we think the words will do it for it. The words aren't your friend. You're the friends to the words. Without you, they're nothing. They're nothing. Words are nothing without you.
I had a student today and I said, look, I don't want you to think about the words at all. I want you to think about the character. I want you to think about what she's thinking, what she's doing, what the relationship is with the person she's talking to, what is the situation. I want you to think about all that stuff and then just say the words, because they're only giving detail of what she's thinking and feeling. And allow that character in that situation to respond to what she's thinking, to what she's seeing, how the other person may be responding to them. I have a saying that, oh, I'm loving it. I have a saying that every voiceover is a conversation, whether somebody is responding or not, because all too often we should even imagine what they're thinking or what they're saying or what the look is that they're giving you, so that you create a true conversation with them.
Well, it's a dialogue. There's no monologues. It'll look like a monologue on a page, but it's not a monologue. You're talking with an audience. You're speaking with them. It is a dialogue always, even if there's other characters in the scene with you. And all my animated series and my anime series that I'm doing right now. I'm talking with the audience. I've got to transcend the character in the scene and be the character, the voice actor who speaks to all of the viewers as well.
Yeah. Let me pop a couple of comments on Ellen Dubbin. Hey, I love Elley Ray. Don't worry about the words. Tell us about the approach to your auditions. You get the sides, and then do you follow their breakdown and description? Do you do your own thing? What your instincts tell you? I was going to ask this myself. Thank you, Ellen Dubbin.
Well, that's a great question. am a rule breaker. I don't advise other people to do what I do, but people always say, what do you do? I do not follow the rules. So I get into trouble sometimes because it pisses people off, but I actually I am a true artist, and there are no rules in creative anything. And as soon as you start ruling and regulating, saying, don't do this, you can't do that, you can't, then it's not art anymore, it's regulated. And I don't like that. But this is just me. So I live outside the box. And I heard Dave earlier say, live inside the box. And I am an absolute advocate of no, don't do that. Which is why I love many, many teachers having many, many viewpoints. So I do everything that you're not supposed to do. And for whatever reason, it works for me. It just does. Other people who try to do it, if they try to act it, it won't work. That is just who I am.
This works for you because it is you.
Exactly. I cannot be corralled and I cannot be controlled, and I make people crazy. But I think other people, they go, oh my God, you're like Robin Williams. Like, I don't know what's happening right now. And other people, that terrifies people. They go,
and guess what?
I don't know what it is. I don't know how to control it. I don't know. And other people go, I love it. Just do you. I don't know.
Elley, that's why you work. That's why Robin Williams worked, because there was that special quality in them that you couldn't allow everybody to have the same freedom as a Robin Williams. You probably can't allow everybody to have the same freedom because they don't have the same tools you have.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to do you, Dave. You are so right. And I go, some people need rule and regulation in their life. If I see a breakdown and it says, and they give me samples of people that they want me to sound like, I do not do those people. In fact, I do the opposite of those people. Because I know that everyone that's auditioning will try to do those people. They'll imitate those people. They'll try to sound like those people. They'll do energetically those people. And I think, so if I see a character who's, I don't know, a cute little, beautiful, sweet little thing, I'll do it like that. Like I'll do the opposite of what it should be.
Well, looks and voices can be very different. It's so interesting. When I'm talking with students about script analysis, and often, on our game scripts, they'll give us some cultural touchstones, some performances of some actors. Whoops, there go the headphones. Some performances of some actors from this movie or that movie or this video game or that video game. And I will check them out. But it just kind of gives me an idea of a particular feel that they might want. I'm always annoyed when they only give one, because they're pointing people in that direction. And I'm also a great believer and I know you're even more of a believer in this than I am. Stop worrying about what they say they want.
Exactly. They don't know what they want.
They don't know what they want. If they knew what they wanted, they would have hired that. They would have found that. They're out searching. They're fishing for something. Bring them you. Bring them the thing that you do. Don't try to copy somebody else. Don't try to give them a Morgan Freeman or a Don LaFontaine, or give them you.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, I had an Elley Ray Hennessy read. So I, in the 90s, created this thing, which is really, it's just a dry read. Women were either sexy, stupid, or moms, like warm, loving moms. Like women were kind of, in the voice industry, we get a quarter of what men get back in the days. It's getting a bit better because now I play men. I play a lot of male. And a lot of women cannot play 55-year-old men. I've got a Cartoon Network series where I play a 55-year-old man. But you've got to go, I can be anything. And if you believe it, you are. But we don't tend to believe in ourselves, and our self-worth gets us into trouble because we go, I don't think I'm very good because I haven't gotten a job yet. It has nothing to do with that. You are part of a team. It doesn't matter if you score. If the coach says get on the field and I'm like, run, Forrest, run, and you're like, and you don't know what you're doing, you may catch the ball, you may fumble the ball, you may score, you may not score. You don't do this to score. You do this because you love playing the game. Score! So what happens if you just play the game? I promise you, for no rhyme or reason, you'll be cast in things where you go, why did I get that job this week? And not the best audition. You just don't know. It won't make any sense. So if you try to figure it out, you will have a nervous breakdown and make yourself crazy, and your self-worth will be in the toilet. You must play intimately. And I mean, you've got to just go to source, because if you're here, gang, if you are here, and you are storytellers, you are soldiers, you are magicians, you are alchemists. You are what is required right now to change the vibration of the planet, because there's nobody else doing it. Nobody else can do it right now. So we embed secretly, metaphorically, psychologically, we imprint, we implant. It's like putting, in advertisement and in shows, I put in all kinds of I talk to people, I do all kinds of things, and people are like, what the hell's going on? I put Easter eggs in my auditions. Okay, there you go. I do things that are just for psychologically imprinting on my listener, that have nothing to do with the script, nothing to do with the story. And people are like, I love her. And I go, you can take every trick I've ever done. I give my students every trick I ever use, and I do crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. They go, you don't do that. I go, ask Disney.
I promise you that works for you, because this is who you are. And I love the fact that you are saying this about who you are and how you show up, because more actors need to let go of this little voice that's judgy, and I can't do it. I get the question, well, can I do this? Is it okay if I put a sigh in there? Is it okay? And I'm like, ooh, is it okay? Look, the words are just the words. We are not slaves to the words. The words, we are the other ingredient that takes these words and makes them something. And if we don't bring something else,
one of our ingredients that we use, right? That's one. We are the alchemists, and as a conjurer, we long to sit around fires, singing and dancing and sharing fable. That's what human nature is all about. We've lost that. We've got these digital devices that don't even talk anymore. We just digitize with our fingers all this crap. And so we, the storytellers, have to get alchemical. And to get alchemical, we've got to conjure. And it's called inspiration. And it's called breath. And it's called how do we come together with our audiences and change them? Well, the words are secondary. They're one ingredient. One ingredient in all of it that I bring to the table. Rhythm, tone, pitch, speed, volume, musicality, emotional truth, which is also, all of it. Then you've got the who, what, why, where, when. Then you've got, genre. Then you've got gender. Then you've got size. Then you've got status. Then you've got what geographic location are you from? Oh my God, like to create characters, we think, oh, I got the words. There's my script. And people go blah, 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 blah. And they think that's their audition. No. You decode that script and give it with open hands to your audience so that they might thrive. They need your help. The world needs your help right now, and you are the ones. You're the ones that are going to change.
We are the ones we've been waiting for.
We're the ones, man. We're the heroes. We are the heroes in the stories.
Let me go through a few of these. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Can I not? Not letting me put. Oh, there we go. Derek R. Watts. I get caught up a lot in trying to give people what they want and lose my natural approach in that. And I've worked with Derek, and one of the things I've said to him, look, he does a lot of voices. I love that, but you got to go beyond the voice into the mind and heart of that character. let's see, Heather Lynn
What
Watt.
was
Good advice for VO and life. And great stuff from Theo. Derek again, she's speaking truth. Storm Waters, source. Marion Taro, so true. Elley Ray. Sam Mowry. Terrible reverb. I don't know. Is anybody else getting the
it
reverb through?
me?
I'm not hearing the reverb.
Was it
Usually I would hear it. Elley is way her authentic self. And I think that is one of the things that most people, I feel like, don't love themselves enough, don't respect themselves enough.
what I teach? Yeah, Dave, when I teach, it's not about script, it's not about character, it's about self-worth. And I've got a few students on the call that I saw. This, because we are muses, we are angelic as a force. We are a team of, like, we are frontline workers. Believe it or not, we change people. I sit, and as you know, Dave, my fans sit in front of me and I sign autographs that are lined up around the block. Why? Because I have such a great voice? No. Because I touch people's hearts. That's why. I touch people's hearts, not only on the microphone, but in real life. Because our jobs are to do that. Our jobs are to be vulnerable enough to care about who is on the other side of the microphone. We will generally come to the microphone and think we're alone in our home studios doing our auditions. No. There's millions of people listening to you as you send out that little missive, that little message of whatever, joy, love, a little bit of intimacy, a little bit of, like, whatever you're selling, whatever it is you're selling, go internally into the script and find a way to touch, your listeners. Because I'm telling you, gang, the day will come. I said the day will come where we'll stop going to studio, and people said you're insane. I said, no, I got Source Connect 11 years ago. People thought I was like, they're like, what? What do you need that for?
Well, we're certainly living in the Source Connect and Zoom world now. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. You mentioned going to conventions. That's when I realized that the work I do is important, not just fun for me. I have a sister who's a doctor, my older sister, and I always told her, "Oh, you are doing God's work. I'm just having fun." Until a number of years ago, when I started meeting people at conventions whose lives I had touched through cartoon characters and video game characters that I played, that I did not think of it as important work, just fun work for me. But for some other people, sometimes it's a lifeline. And if it's only entertainment that gives them a smile, it's enough.
Well, and a lot of, as you know, Dave, a lot of the bigger shows, they have, cancer for kids, and they'll have, like, bring the kids the wish list. Like, they come in and there's a lot going on. Like, when you get to the point where you're doing the large series work and stuff like that, it really is for people that have a dream. Like, I have sat on Zoom with fans, and people cannot believe that I would talk to fans. They're like, "You'll talk to me?" I'm like, "Sure, why not? Why not?" I talk to everybody. I don't care. That's why I never shut up. Have you noticed?
Well, you know what? You are in touch with your humanity, and you don't necessarily believe the press, which was either bad or good. That if the press can tell you, and when I say the press, I mean the general public as well, can tell you that you are worthless, or that you are worth so much more than any other human being because you're in the spotlight and so forth. And if you accept that, you're pulling yourself out of humanity.
I always say, if it doesn't feel good, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
If it doesn't raise your own vibration when you do this work, you're not doing it right. Because it's like, I don't know if y'all volunteer or y'all just anybody in the crowd goes out and when you just see a whale breaching out of the ocean or you look at the top of the Sistine Chapel or something that makes you go, it's that big inhale in where you go, I feel like that when I work.
Yeah.
I feel like that when I work because it's like I feel my audience because I've met them and I know that it works. I know that storytellers, after over 40 years of doing this professionally, I know we move the needle. We do it. That's what we do. And it ain't
Let
easy.
me ask you
Nobody
this.
said it's going to be easy. It's not easy because you've got to lay your heart on the line every single time you audition. You've got to give all of yourself, your intimate self, the place that people are shy and scared and nervous and weird. You've got to get past that and go, it's okay. It really is okay.
Let me ask you this. At the end of every job, are you just a little sad that it's over?
A little bit. There's characters that I have played in my life, but I do it with theater too, and with film and TV. But they live on forever. Like it never goes away. Like every show I've ever done, you can look up the episode. And it's like
I'm not talking about the fact that it lives on forever. I love that part. I'm talking about the fact that the doing of the work, and then okay, well, you're done, and I'm always just a little bit sad that that gig for that day in that moment, despite the fact that I know I'm going to have another gig the next day and the next day, that moment, that gig is over.
I think, that's a funny question. And I'm the opposite. In fact, I want the next, I actually go, and there's actually a big series that I was a part of, and there's a new generation of it coming out. And I put on my vision board that I'm going to, I've got a vision board, and I know the things that I want to do with certain, whether it's Pixar or Disney or Cartoon Network or whatever. I just go, this is my vision. I don't get greedy for the year. I go, this is what I'm going to manifest for myself. Because I want to be in the next generation of a thing like that. And people go, but does that really work? And I go, well, it does for me. Yes, it does. I can manifest everything that I set out to that I manifest. And it just happened. It just happened. So I continued it.
And my belief is what you're doing when you're doing that is you're connecting with that omnipotent power. Some people are going to call it God, the ultimate laws of metaphysics. But every thought, every word that comes out of our mouths, out of our minds, is pulling on that power. So be very careful what you think and say, and saying affirmations of your good. Not I want, but I have.
I give my heart and my soul to animated series, 52 episodes, so that I might change the vibration of the planet. I give my resources and my time to a beautiful brick studio, or whatever the hell you want, so that I might change the vibration of the planet. Look, I write on my body every day. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see it?
Well, then, you could get that permanently with a tattoo.
So, but I change it every day. So I'll write God, I'll write success, I'll write like words that are positive. I don't write negative words, but we work with words. And so Ellen Dubin, another thing I do when I audition is I always write words because look up the Emoto water crystal experiments, and he put words on water. We're made up of 80% water, and it changes your vibration. So there's a little trick for you.
And what the words were changed the water. The positive words made the water better. The negative words
made the water turned into. So if you looked at H2O after they'd had the word God on it, or love, or joy, they were all prisms of light. They had looked like snowflakes with all colors in them. The hate kill Hitler beakers were blobs, it's the same H2O but it's like these weird. So there's a little trick I don't know if it works or not, but I just went, I'm going to put body on, I write, I am love. I have t-shirts that have peace symbols and all that kind of stuff, you know. But I feel like we take on a certain energy of a word. So just be aware of that, because sometimes I have to sell some things that, you know, say some things in shows that are, yikes, they're
All
hateful.
the
They're,
time.
they're
I have to
hateful,
say
right?
things all the
You
time
know,
in
Dave,
videos.
like kill, I'm going to kill all of that kind of stuff. And you go, yikes. Okay. So I want to make sure that I'm not operating as that
Yeah,
that's the
well,
character in
but
the story.
that's not what's in your head and heart.
No.
And we have to be very careful, because we've all been poisoned uh, going through life with the negative messages that are out there, and we have to
Yeah.
bolster those positive messages and be very careful whose advice and comment you're taking, because if any of it's negative, if any of it's anti this person, anti that person, anti, they're likely to poison you.
Yeah.
This and this,
And
and
trust me, you can do it to yourself with your own doubt.
yeah.
So don't even like, don't go there. Like, just don't go there. And if you really need help, for those of you who are asking some questions, I'll tell you something that really, 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 really works for me. It's called theta brain music. Now, theta brain is the child brain. So if you're having trouble with organization, skill set, overthinking it, money, fear, all that stuff, that's beta brain. That's where the adult lives. Theta, Theta, brain pulses. So if you want to work every day, turn on that music. It's free. You can Google it. It makes some people fall asleep, but that's okay. I want you to get your brainwave out of the rigidity of beta, worry and skill set and all of that stuff and money, and go to the rolling brainwave, which is the child brainwave. And that is where you can be creative and you can play and you let go of responsibility, and you will actually liberate in yourselves a unique brand of your own creative child who's sitting there dormant because you've terrified the child with the adult. The adult just lives in fear every day and loathing. And you've got to liberate that child so you can actually celebrate and play, because that's what we do at the microphone. If you're doing it right, you're playing the script, right? You're playing.
I'm constantly reminding students, look, I know you're trying to learn, you're working hard at this, but tap into that childlike joy that you had when you were a kid, playing this game or that game, or being this character or that character. That's where this lives.
I say to my students, I go, do a raspberry before you do your audition. They're like, what? And then do your audition. They're like, no. I said, yeah, send it in. Send it in. They're like, what? I go, no, send it in. And I go, who cares? You'll have other auditions. Like, just do it so you can take the pressure off yourself. Go, like, I just go, this is me. And this is me before I start my audition. And this is my audition. So it's like slating, where I go, hey everybody, it's Elley Ray. I'm like, well, whatever. My Elley, it's Elley Ray. I don't care. So people are like, Elley Ray. If I hear a slate like that, I go, get it. Like, what is that? What is it? It's the first thing I hear when I'm casting. And it's like, I've been listening for 5 hours to 200 auditions, and people are like, Elley Ray. And they couldn't be more terrified, more bored, something, I don't know, whatever. You can go, it's the first thing I hear in your audition.
And it doesn't have to be long, because people's attention span is very short.
No.
But
No.
and it's funny, because we talk about slate, and just what you're talking about, this, hi, this is Dave Fennoy. Nobody wants to hear that.
No.
You know, give it a little life. Give it a little
If you
life.
sound bored to talk with me, if you and trust me, you're trying to inspire me. That's what I'm listening for. That you're inspired and that you're happy to be there and that you've actually got an opinion about what you're talking about. If you're like, Elley Ray, I'm like, and I do so many demos, right? Like, I do demos, and the slate is the hardest thing that I record. I go, okay, No, no. Okay. Stand on one foot, put your right hand in the air, grab your basket, squeeze your basket, and I make them laugh. like, well, that's a personality. Like, oh my gosh, what's happening? You've got to be alive. You sound like a dead person.
You know, so many people, their personalities have been sucked out of them
I
over the
agree.
years. And it's hard. And one of the reasons I have the dreadlocks is to remind the world I am a free man. I'm going to be me. You don't control me. I control me.
That's right.
But look here, you know, this hour is gone. Can I get you back again a few months from now?
Time flies when you're having fun. I'm here whenever you want to chat. I love talking about creative expression.
And well, I definitely love it just between you and me, but I really love the comments that I'm seeing about what you have brought to the Ask Dave Fennoy Anything discussion this evening. I think you have inspired people. I think you have uplifted people and given them new hope in their pursuit of this wonderful career that we call voiceover.
Well, I hope that everyone who's listening and everyone who partaked in the wonderful Wednesday nights with Dave, Dave is a force. Dave is really creative and really great. He's obviously been around and knows what he's doing. And guys, we are in this together. You are successful because I am and because Dave is. There's one energy here. There's no I in team. We are a force. Never judge yourself, ever. Know that you are spectacular by sheer fact that you're here trying to do this thing with us. You've got a lot to rely on. Ask for help when you need it. Don't get overwhelmed. Stop beating yourself up. Know that you are alchemists and magicians. You know how many people don't do this job? A lot.
Almost everybody.
You're like 1% of the entire world. Less than. You're 0.5%.
We're less than that.
Like you're like
how can
way
people,
less.
How can people get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me through my fabulous assistant, Colin Doyle, at ellyassistant@gmail.com, which is ELLEY, assistant@gmail.com, or through my website, elleyray.com, or you can reach me, although I won't get back to you immediately because I have actually 3 assistants, at elleyray@gmail.com.
There you go. Well, I know some people, as a matter of fact, I believe I saw this message float by from Susan Storm. Somebody said, I couldn't help myself. I just went and booked myself a session with Elley Ray. So,
well, guys, audition for the Ultimate VO Survivor. You can win thousands and thousands of dollars worth of prizes. Get out there. It's fun. You're live on. We do live. The finals are fabulous. You can go to getmike.com and see what we did last year. It's a lot of fun, and we just want voice actors to thrive. Demos, we've got jobs to give away. We've got agents that are taking on the people who win. We've got, you name it, we've got it. Get out there. It's phenomenal.
There you go. And J. Horace Black, put up your
thanks, Jay. I'm just surprised.
Well, Elley, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll do this again. Maybe a year from now, something like that.
I love it.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you, gang. I love you so much.
You're welcome. Right back
at you.
Elley Ray, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic. So, well, that wraps up another Ask Dave Fennoy Anything. A reminder again, I'll be in Vegas, baby. That's going to be Saturday and Sunday. This week, you can still stop by the Voice Actor Studio in Vegas.com. Not in Vegas.com, but the voiceactorstudio.com, and book either to be there in person or via the internet. And until then, take care of yourselves, and of course, book something.